This is breaking news from Bloomberg.
We have a strong person of interest in the shooting that shook our city last week. A CEO, Brian Thompson of UnitedHealthcare, was the victim of a senseless act of violence.
We've been listening to a news conference, including the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, the NYPD commissioner, Jessica Tisch, and we're just listening to a question and answer session with the NYPD's chief of detectives, Joseph Kinney, after the NYPD has identified a person of interest in the killing of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, days ago, identifying Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old born and raised in Maryland, according to authorities, with no prior arrest record, has been taken into custody in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where, according to the NYPD, he will be facing gun charges. And the NYPD says they will be working with the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, on when this person of interest may be brought to New York to face additional charges there. We also learned, Joe, that the suspect, Luigi Mangione, person of interest, was in possession of a ghost gun with the capability of firing a 9mm round when he was taken into custody at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania earlier today.
Yeah, pretty remarkable, capable of firing a 9mm round, something that could be created on a 3D printer, something that has concerned authorities for a long time. And here we are again talking about this. His last address, Honolulu, even though he is from Towson, Maryland, not that far outside of the nation's capital here. This young man with stories we just heard, pretty remarkable, Kailey, about the effective use of drones combined with canine units and, of course, the willingness of a McDonald's employee to make a phone call in this case. We want to bring in Myles Miller once again, managing editor for Bloomberg TV, who's been driving our coverage on this story for us, and he's back with us from world headquarters in New York. Myles, what comes next?
Yeah, so right now he's going to be charged locally in Altoona, Pennsylvania, in connection with the gun possession and fake ID charges. Once that's done with, they'll do an extradition hearing, and the hope is to get him back to New York if he does waive extradition. In listening to this press conference, you listened to a story about a 26-year-old man from Maryland who made his way up to New York, had spent so much time here to pre-plan and methodically plan the shooting of this healthcare executive. We have been able to dig through his background, and he has talked a lot in the past. He posted a review of a book by Ted Kaczynski, and he has in the manifesto that was on his person, he talked a lot about being anti-corporate America and about some of the issues he finds with the healthcare system. All of this found on his person in that McDonald's, and as the police said, this was all solved by an eagle-eyed McDonald's employee who sees a guy who matches the description of the suspect and calls police, and on him they find not only that gun with the suppressor that he made himself on a 3D printer, but they also find that manifesto, 2 pages, handwritten, sources telling me, and that it has a lot of writing about anti-capitalism and anti-healthcare.
Yeah, we heard from Joe Kinney this idea that he expressed in that manifesto, quote, ill will toward corporate America, although the NYPD did seem to suggest they do not think anyone else is at threat here, as no one else specifically was named. But Myles, they said on multiple occasions, we're not done here. This investigation is going to continue. What details still could surface themselves that they will be looking to uncover that could potentially move this individual from person of interest to a suspect charged with these crimes?
Well, they sent off the fingerprints, and they sent off the DNA from that water bottle that was found in the alleyway after the shooting several days ago. Now they will hope to get him to submit to DNA testing and to see if there's a match. They need definitive match to make sure that this is exactly the person. They will do ballistic testing. They'll send that gun to the police lab in Queens and make sure that it is the gun that was used in this, because right now the case has to be firmed up by firm evidence. Then in addition to that, they've got to see if he was planning anything else. They'll go through his computer records. They'll figure out if he was targeting any other investor days, if he had a list of people he was targeting. And then most importantly, they'll see if he was working with any network of people or if he was a lone wolf, did this all on his own. That's all part of the investigation.